We project that we'll have some savings from what the 110,000 is. We think it'll be less than 100,000 to finish that. EMC is the general contractor that helps to manage all of that work. Then BICO, they're non-union, so we agreed to hold a contract with them. So the numbers you see here for the total of the 522,446, that includes all of the flooring in the project except for the LVT. So the hallway, the vinyl floors, that was a different contractor was awarded that. But everything else, all the bathroom tile, everything was included there. But we still have $21,000 in contingency. We spoke to him, we feel pretty good that that's for fixing floors. And when you look at the scope of the work that's complete up to this point, we're in a really good place with that. So we believe that almost all of that will be saved. So it's not in a contract to pay them, that's in our own bucket on the site. So it doesn't, BICO doesn't have a dollar amount for that. We're just carrying that in our owner accounts. The greenhouse, we budgeted 105, we had $2,330 in savings there. And then the oil and equipment and supply, I see that, I have to scratch my head like, what is that? And it's the lift. So we had to buy the lift, and that came out of, that was always in the design for the high school. So the auto lift, and that is the class. We've got 50 students taking small engines next year. So if you design a space, they will come. So the overall, the way that this looks is that we are flat. So there was remaining $3,000. So out of $3.5 million, we're at projecting ourselves to be flat. So that's a budget forecast. Okay. So that's our owner's cost with the project. Then this is the overall budget itself. This is a very streamlined document. There's really not much on it. That's how simple as it really is. I'll just keep one, pass them down. Jim, you may have some extras. So the referendum, it's a 2-year window. Ryan actually shared with me earlier today that the referendum itself goes through summer 2020, so it actually goes through the school year. That's what it does. So the 2019-20 school year as well. So right now our commitments to JHF are the 21,063. Our owner's costs are in the document. Actually, we shaved out the savings, so our owner's costs were projected to be the 3,497. There's still contingency dollars built into the budget, so right now we're clearing $166,000 in the budget for the unknowns. There aren't unknowns. There may be some changes because we have to make them, like there's a column in the middle of a wall, we can't get rid of it, but I think we've experienced all that. So I really think that most of this is going to be a savings to the school district. So that puts us at 24,395. So that's the expenses associated with the base of the referendum itself. So the things that were not included in the referendum are this alt bid, this deeper level of scope that we're sharing, and the front of the school, which were not included, as well as some of the roofing needs. The level that we're looking at was not articulated in the referendum. Like $100,000 was $150,000 allotted versus the final solution after getting on the roof and digging down deeper. So the referendum budget is 24.5. Now I'm going on to the revenues. The auditorium, from the beginning, it's got $100,000 designated to help support the auditorium. So now this is the part where these are revenues coming in, and the presentation tonight is saying, okay, these revenues are coming in, therefore because of these revenues, we're asking you to approve this. They do, the numbers are very similar, and it is something that we've discussed from the very beginning. Like, hey, what do we have permission to do as far as beyond the scope of the referendum? So when we get to as far as we can get, and we know where we're at with the referendum now, we've dialed in, we have the base of the referendum itself, and then some. So we've been able to accomplish significantly more than the original piece was all about as far as the HVAC, electrical scope, and plumbing. So like the budget was built for 75% of plumbing. All plumbing has been replaced at Mayville High School. The budget was built for 75% of the HVAC. We're close to all, we're down to this small section. We'd like to seal the deal and get it done. Okay? So when we look at the costs associated with a project, one of the big drivers that we shared with our community is, hey, if we can get it done now, we're gonna have savings, because the cost of projects are going up on an annual basis. We definitely saw that too. We saw the price of metal skyrocket as we were going out to bid for the project. So if you go to Bray and Findorf and you say, what are the costs of this project 3 years from now, you're gonna get a story that's significantly more. So while we're engaged with these contractors, our recommendation is that we move ahead with this. So all this information was shared with the B&G committee and supported to say, hey, let's keep moving ahead. So one of the pieces so the bond interest is the estimate, still can change. I actually talked to PMA, our advisor, last week Friday, got a thumbs up that it's not a fictional number, that yes, that interest absolutely has been coming in. We have not seen those numbers. Those numbers are actually in the PMA accounts that we cannot access. They have to wire the funds over. So that's why I said, okay, I see these reports coming in monthly. Are you sure? Just because I don't want to misspeak about it. So the numbers may change lightly. They could go up, they could go down slightly, but in general, we're very secure in a number in that hub. The focus on energy rebates. This has been a major capital maintenance project. So roofs qualify for energy efficiency. Plumbing qualifies for energy efficiency. Electrical qualifies for energy efficiency rebates, and the HVAC does. It's been a giant project when it comes to all of that. It really has made like light years of improvements at Mayville High School. But we also did the work, most of the work at the middle school, 95% of it was HVAC. Then we had the security stuff. So, and then at Parkview, major HVAC, a little bit of renovation, and then security. So all three buildings have opportunities for these rebates to come in. We're still waiting for the final numbers. So we think that this could be conservative, could be overshooting a little bit, but we could be getting a whole bunch more. So we're still waiting. I have yet to get an official amount. But I think that this is a good dollar amount. When we're sitting budget meetings with Findorf, what do you think, Dick? Like, it's not being...
There's maximum swings every week.
Yeah, yeah. So, is what we experience at times. So I'm trying to be conservative in presenting this dollar amount. This has been a dollar amount that's been discussed for about a month now, being in the budget. So keeping that in mind, if you're looking at just different revenues that are out there, what's happening in the school district, so we would be at 25.171, that's $775,000 above what the expenses are up above. Now, what I'm going to share with you is actually a presentation that Bray and Findorf have put together about what does the outbid mean. Actually, on bid day, what happened was, before bid day, so last October, so October 2017, we had a meeting talking about what does it mean to have experienced at the facility study committee a decision to go with 75% of HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. Okay, what impact does that have? Because there was an overall dollar amount, and the discussion was, come on, there's got to be something we could keep in there, right? Said, okay, yeah. So what do we think is fair? So as a group, there's a subcommittee, the facility study committee, that came up with a rationale of saying we're going to go with 75%. So in order to do that, but to have the HVAC grow, there was a design, and I'm going to move into this project and this presentation here.
I think even a little further back, there was no AC originally at all, and then it was going to be done.
There was, yeah, the amount of AC was very limited. Right. So before we went out to bid day. And then we had a discussion, say, hey, what's the deal there? It was only going to be limited to the new construction. So then we said, all right, if it's only a new construction, what would it take to get the AC to expand to the rest of the building? Okay? So with that, what it took was a vertical solution. So right now, like on the screen, number 10, everything in number 10 has HVAC in it. Okay? The cafeteria does not. The fitness center does not. Everything just naturally in these zones do as part of new construction. Fitness center does not though. It's a large space, it does not. So, and then up above here, everything on this hallway currently does. Everything in this hallway does. And this will as well, but will not in the way that this has been designed, is 25% of the building. So 25% of the building in the base bid that went out included carpet, paint, ceiling tile, a slight electrical update, okay? Because we had talked about light renovation. Light renovation, if you look at the documents that we went out to the community, it had a color, and this was light renovation. We've been fortunate through the project to do deep renovation. So we said this was gonna, like number 10 was gonna be deep renovation, but we did not know that we were gonna be able to do deep renovation of these spaces. Okay? So we really have got a lot done. So all of those, it's new electrical, new HVAC, and there's really nothing existing of the prior space in those. All for the original referendum amount. So we're trying to see if we can keep going. Let's get that 25%. So let's get all this done and let's get the 25% too. Just couldn't make it. So where we're at is that in the base, so those spaces, they'd get carpet, they'd get paint, the ceiling tile would get done, and then have additional electrical outlet. But what would still be there would be like a refurbished wall unit for heating. They would not have air conditioning. The windows are actually closed based upon the solution, so they went and did all the windows this last summer. Those windows cannot open, so we have to change the windows for those so that they can get some air. So the alt bid then, what does it mean for these spaces? It's 100% new electrical, it's 100% new HVAC. The unit for the top of this is $88,000. We are on the hook for that, okay, FYI. So the rooms are renovated, giving us larger classrooms. Right now, those rooms have, and you'll see in the designs, they have offices located in front of them, and that is not ideal. We want to get rid of those offices, we want them to become bigger classrooms, just like what's on the other side of the hallway. So all of this fits what we had above and beyond, and fits exactly what we told our community. Even number 6 on this one, and number 11 is exactly what we told the community. We have been able to exceed our objective overall. This is trying to really wrap it up and to finish the job. So for us to add on this additional scope, it does include on 11 additional bathroom for staff. Right now, the staff bathroom for Mayville High School is located up here in the new offices. Before, it used to be located central. So really, if I'm a staff member back here, I'm not using a staff bathroom, I'm just using whatever one's available because there's no way I'm gonna run out to the other side of the building for that. So the goal is on the top floor here that there's a bathroom located next to the art. So one, I wanted to, because I'm gonna dig down more specific at number 6 and number 11 and give you kind of a side-by-side. So Kate Egan, the architect, did a side-by-side. What does it mean on the lower level to do architectural updates? So the base bid has, I want that to go away. If I exit this, will it exit the presentation? Yes, it will. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm trying to get rid of that. So the base bid has on it, and the text is, it's getting covered by it. It has new flooring. Those, like this classroom stays at existing size. The office in front stays. It does get paint. It does get patched up. It does get new flooring. That's what the base has. It does have one electrical outlet being added on. It does not have a new teaching wall. It does not have new casework. And we actually have pictures of these spaces. So this is what the space looks like. The wall, one of the spaces in the building. This is one of the small offices. So it's like a space like this. So you can see it's not a student space. It is kind of a storage space, a multi-purpose space, but it's not really being used for students. So here in the alternate, it gets new casework. Casework is cabinets. So cabinets in our classrooms looks like that right there in this picture. Oh, and I'm sorry. I have a paper copy for you. So they get new carpet, new paint. The base bid would not have new cabinets. So the alternate bid includes all new casework, new drywalls. So like right now there's conduit that runs down the walls. So you can see an example of this here. The electrical is actually running down the wall. Any electrical updates would be conduit on the outside of it. Drywall soffits at windows, so these windows get boxed out, nice and cleaned up compared to what they would look like otherwise. And the classrooms get larger. So these 3 spaces, like this one classroom actually has a tiered, I don't know what was the original design for that. It actually has a stage. So this is a stage with some cabinets on it. So that would be gone. There'd be new entrance to here. You can see the lockers are gone, and then it gets some new doorways. This space, in order to try to conserve on cost, we're trying to use some of the existing walls. You can see using the existing walls as much as possible. They still do get furred out because of additional electrical. So instead of having small group instruction spaces, it's larger. These classrooms are some of the smallest in the building, so the decision was made just to remove the SGIs and keep them large. This does have a sliding glass door. This is the one flexible 2 sets of classrooms to support Project Lead the Way. We've got learner's choice, so they can be together or they can be separate. So the base is flooring, some patchwork, paint, ceiling tile. The updated is electrical, cabinets, actual renovation like knocking out walls, making classrooms larger, HVAC, so it has the heating and the cooling, and there you go. So I'll go to the next one, speak to the same exact thing. This is on the upstairs. So right now, this is the space across the hallway. Here's what it looks like on one side, here's what it looks like on the other. So it would actually stay similar. This zone right there is this. So these 2 offices would stay instead of becoming part of the Spanish classrooms. That's what these are right now. And instead they would stay as these multi-purpose spaces. So the goal was to make those classrooms larger. So you can look at the pink located here and you can see how much larger the space is there. And that includes the new cabinets, everything I just said, same exact thing up above. The one difference would be this is the art room. So the art room currently, due to the abatement, all the cabinets had to be replaced. So there was asbestos underneath them. So she actually has no cabinets in there right now. And if you look in the room, you can see these storage carts all over. So it desperately needs some cabinets to be added back into it. The ceiling for the solution is actually removed and painted with some more industrial lighting to keep the space open. It has power that's coming out of the ceiling actually in the solution. And I know the way she has it, like this is, she's specifically speaking to architectural. I find it easier to speak to the whole scope at one time. So this is using the current furniture in this space. These classrooms, that's outside of the scope. We already have all that covered. Just getting some new stools is what I believe.
Right above the blue arrow, that one of those restrooms are gonna be on.
Yep, one of these restrooms, because of budget, one of these restrooms is gonna be a storage closet, and the other one's gonna be a bathroom. And when we want to someday, we could add on to that. We figured that could be an easy add-on, small scope, but it was a saving. We could do it. So we tried to peel out as much as we could, in order to, but still get the space renovated in a similar level as the rest of the building. So electrical, I spoke to this, the base bid, 1 wall-mounted duplex and data per room. It did get digital wall clocks. Ceiling lights were updated in these spaces with a ceiling-mounted speaker. Here in the alternate, it's all new power, all new data. Everything gets spurred out for the drywalls. New power and data, brand new teaching wall. When we say teaching wall, it's actually where the smart board goes. It has to have a different solution with if the power is not updated. It's got to be old school versus the new solution we have. So
And
it makes a difference.
We do have all the furniture on it.
The furniture's, that's a separate part. Yep, correct. That's actually
Yeah,
embedded
that's
into
what I
these
meant, we
numbers.
have all the furniture.
Yep, furniture is not part of the outbid. Furniture is right here in this document that we shared with you. So this is the upstairs, the electrical. This is what one of our classrooms look like, and you don't see any, you don't see conduit on the wall. However, you would see that in this solution in order to get it done. Here, because the art room it's talking about, it does say additional wall-mounted power data for art classroom with 2 cord reels that come down from the ceiling. So when you're working in that industrial format, it's great just to have the power come down, pull the cord. This is the ceiling plan. So this says no new scope. No new scope for, it says note 5 shows occupancy sensor attached to meet the new corridor ceiling. This says gyp soffits along windows and over casework, new ceiling tile and grid, new lighting, finish out corridor, ceiling plan, exposed paint, and ceiling in our classroom. Yeah, the top floor here, there was no new lighting actually included in the art room originally. So this is HVAC scope. So in the base plan, no new scope. Base plan shows unit ventilators to remain for this set of classrooms for both the second floor and the first floor. In the alternate, it has new rooftop unit, heating and cooling for the 3 classrooms on the second floor and 5 classrooms on the first floor. That's where the significant money is. The significant money, as far as the cost, goes into drywall, it goes into electrical, and it goes into HVAC. So this is the overall cost then associated with the project. $143,000 for drywall. This did go out to bid, so it just didn't automatically just get assigned to somebody. These were the contractors that bid on the alt bid at the time that it went out. It did get tweaked. It did actually get dropped down in scope. At one point in time, I think I saw this number around $650,000, so we kept trying to pare it down and pare it down. So general trades with Findorf, 97, Klein Dickert, that's for glass doors, minimal. There's one little section of that for $2,500. Bico is an owner product. We already own the flooring with them for those spaces. The acoustical ceilings, $19,000, very inexpensive for ceilings. Painting, the painting for these is out. This is additional scope for painting of $6,000. We had some folding partitions that were taken out. Fire protection with this newer solution, there's an additional cost. Plumbing, that includes the bathroom, so all it costs is $7,000 to get the bathroom over there. And HVAC is $83, and electrical $106. So the whole alt is capital maintenance, really, overall. We've got $83,000 of HVAC, $106,000 of electrical. You do have the trades and the drywall that come with renovation, so it's about 50-50. So the overall cost is $484,890. That has been looked at in 20,000 different directions, I feel, Mr. I think we've really been trying to pare it down. What can we do? We're at the point, though, where a decision has to be made. Are we moving ahead with this scope or not? If you feel like it's rushed as a group, it could maybe wait till May 20th, but I don't think people will be too happy with me. But we really just want to make sure you have all the information. We've got our owner costs, the overall referendum costs, what's happening with our investments, what's happening with our focus on energy. The bottom part of this is what I want to share is the alt bid scope. This is above and beyond what we had originally committed to. Okay, so that would be 100% completing Mayville High School on the inside. So that's additional $484. The academic roof, we decided we want to pull that out and have that be owner direct. At the budget item right now, $291,000. So if you were to take the owner direct roof, that alt bid, which would still be working with Findorf, we would be at $776,000, which would put us literally at a wash with all of those revenues. So it's a big deal. So I don't take this recommendation lightly. We've been working on this for 2 years.
And this was the first time we've got this close with actual numbers. I mean,
yeah, we've been paring it down and pushing to get the numbers correct. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes to verify our owner's costs. We feel pretty solid about how those numbers are looking. So this is as up to date as our budget has been throughout this process. We've done a lot to get to this point. So the magic question is, Ryan's here, Travis is here, Dick's here, our other representatives of the B&G committee are here, and I guess any questions you have, this would be a great time.
So any more discussion on this alt bid project?
think it makes a great deal of sense to go ahead and complete it.
Let's not